Hello everyone, and welcome to this production. I can keep zooming in, this is a great mod, but today we're talking about the motion capture mod. Now this mod is pretty similar to the Blockbuster mod, except it's on the latest version and has 2% of the features that the Blockbuster mod has. But it's still fun. Oh, and this mod is excellent for machinimas. And the only reason why I classify this mod to be more convenient than the Blockbuster mod is because A, it's less complicated, and B, it's on the latest version of Minecraft. Right now it's 1.20.1, while the Blockbuster mod is still on 1.12. The creator of the Blockbuster mod explained why the mod can't be pushed to the latest versions of Minecraft, so I'll link that video in the description. But this mod is on the latest version and is goofy. So let's get right into it. So the first command we can use is mocap info. Just gives you some information of the mod, like who created the mod and the version of the mod. And you can see the author of the mod is MT1006. And if you don't even know what is going on, you could just type in mocap help. It'll just give you some information of the mod. But you don't need this command, you have this video. So let's start with actually recording a scene. We can type in mocap, recording, and start. Now the moment I press enter, it will immediately start recording. And well, that's about it. What's great about this mod is that I can also break and place mods. Blocks, not mods, blocks. These are blocks, this is Minecraft, I'm placing blocks. I can also break some of these blocks. Also break the blocks that aren't in the recording, and I can even interact with things. Like if I place a redstone lamp over here, and I can walk all the way back and type in mocap recording stop. So we can do mocap recording stop again to discard the recording we just made, but I want to save it, so I'll just type in save instead, and then we'll give it a name. We'll call it sand. And now the recording is saved as sand. And what I personally find really great about this mod is that all recordings are saved as files on your computer. You don't have to delete recordings with a command. You can simply just go to your options, resources, resource packs, and then just open your pack folder. But we don't really need to be in the pack folder. We can just go to .minecraft, saves, then go to your world folder, and then you have a new folder here called mocap files. Inside we'll have recordings, and that is a recording we just saved. So we can duplicate this, we can delete this, it's a file. But in order to see the recording, we can just do mocap, playing, start, and the name of the recording, which we called... Why did I forget? Oh, it's called sand. And there I am. Would you look at that? It's exactly like another player's in the world. All the destruction that the player does is quite permanent. So if the recording ends, all of the stuff sticks around, which is why I suggest using the clone tool to make a copy of all the terrain that you interact with, so that you can just set things back to normal when you're done. But hey, you can interact with redstone. You can also have multiple recordings playing at the same time. So if I just do this, now I've got an army of me's. So now they're all interacting with this very button. And now they all come running back. This is why I play Minecraft. So in order to stop all the recordings, we can just do mocap, playing, stop all. And that will just stop every recording that's playing. The regular stop command will only stop a certain recording if you want to specify. Oh, and if you want to make sure that you're recording and you somehow forgot, you can just type in mocap recording state and it will tell you if it's recording or not. And if you have multiple recordings, you can just do mocap recording list and it will show you all the recordings that exist. Right now, it's just sand. I don't like sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating. And it gets everywhere.
Now I'm going to record another recording. You can't see other recordings as you're recording. So what I usually do is get a command block and simply type in mocap, playing, start, and then the other recording. And right next to it, I will do mocap, recording, start. So in this way I can record myself and play the other animation at the same time. But the problem with this command is that it will try to record the command block because it's starting the recording from the command block. So in order to make sure that you're recording yourself, you can go after this and type in your player name. So now if I press start, the recording has started and there's the other me. So my role in this recording is to clean up the mess that this guy makes. Mocap recording save, and I'll just call this recording glass because glass comes from sand. If I press this command block, it'll play the first recording. I better stop him before he does anything. I can add another command block and just start the other recording. So now if I press this, both recordings will be at the same time. Now this is a little early for this command, but if I do mocap settings playing speed, I can set this to 2 and now it will play twice as fast. Now he walks away, this guy comes and fixes everything. And just because it's fun, I'm going to set the playing speed to 10 and start the replaying thing again. Now playing back your recordings like this is, when you start having 10 recordings, 20 recordings, 50 recordings, you'll have a lot of command blocks. And that's why we have another feature called scenes. So instead of placing hundreds of command blocks to play each recording individually, we can simply do mocap scenes add and we'll create a scene and call it cheese. Now we are going to add the 2 recordings to this scene. We just type in the same command, mocap scenes, but instead of add we do add to the scene name, which is cheese as before, and then what to add. In this case we are going to add in sand. We can have a start delay, which I think is in seconds. The offset, which is simply the offset of where the character is. So if I made it 100x, then he's probably going to be all the way out there in the ocean doing his thing. And I forgot to mention earlier, but we can't have uppercase characters. It can only be lowercase characters. Oh, and no numbers. Oh, and no special characters. So I'll just leave all the coordinates at 0. And the player name, which you can actually just do by playing the recording normally. This time I'll just set it to Herobrine, or you can put in a Mindskin link. So if I press enter, now it adds sand to cheese. So if I simply do mocap scenes list elements of the scene cheese, you can see sand is in there with the skin Herobrine. I'll do the same except with the recording glass and change this guy to dinner bone. Now if I list all the recordings in the scene, we've got sand and glass with the 2 different skins. You can change the skins whenever you want. It's not restricted to the scene. You can just simply do mocap playing start glass, but we can also put in a player name or a custom skin. And yes, dinner bone is actually upside down. And he has a cape. Now in order to play the scene, we could simply do mocap scenes playing start, and normally with one recording we can do something like glass, but in order to play a scene we first have to put in a dot and then the name of the scene, which is cheese. Now to play both at the same time. Why does Herobrine still have a cat uniform? Now the strange thing is you can actually add the same recording to the scene twice. So I can do that, except maybe I can change the skin to perhaps myself and actually change that start delay to 1 second. Now if I do mocap scenes list elements of cheese, you'll see glasses in there twice. So if I play the scene, now 2 recordings are appearing as 3. It still looks like this to me, people. But in order to remove a recording from a scene, we can simply do mocap, scenes, remove from, scene name, and what to remove. And we can't type in glass, since it literally says expected integer, because it lists all the recordings as 1, 2, and 3. So the remove from command can only work if we put in 1, 2, or 3. And since number 3 is the one that we want to remove, we can just press 3. And now the recording is gone. So the next time we play the scene, the recording will not appear. In order to delete a recording or a scene, we can simply do mocap, recording, remove, and then the name of the recording. As for the scene, we can just do scenes, remove, and the name of the scene. Or how I like to do it is by simply going to the recordings and then accessing the files, and obviously since they're files we could just delete them. And if we go up one folder, we have a scenes folder, and now that's our scene. And also while recordings are playing, you can also do mocap playing list, and currently cheese is playing. Now while these guys are doing their thing, I can go over the settings for this mod. So if I type in mocap settings, you've got quite a few of these. Allow mineskin requests is simply allowing the links for custom skins. Playing speed we've already observed, which can be changed during playback. This setting is probably the most useful. Play block actions. This simply tells the recordings whether they can interact with the world or not. So if I set it to false and play that recording again, you can see that he looks like he's placing blocks, but he's unable to. But because the blocks were there during the recording, these guys are just going to be floating around. But I like setting this to true because it looks cool when they build and break stuff. Now, unfortunately, the last two, I don't really know what they do. Recording sync simply just freezes everybody, which I guess is useful, but right now I'm just leaving it to false. And set block states, I unfortunately have no idea what they do. I can set it to false, I can set it to true, I just haven't figured out what it does. But hopefully it's fine. And that's the end of the video. I'll put the mod in the description below, and goodbye. Oh, that's not good.